no exhaust, no diesel smell. The bus has Wi-Fi and even USB outlets next to every seat. I mean, come on, imagine. You can charge your phone on your way home from work. That's good stuff.
But when you present the suggestion that anyone is saying that it is time for a new generation, and they're running against the person who is president, and when presented as though it's an attack, I would like to let us all be clear that the attack is misplaced. If the point of it is that we need leadership that is strong, because we have a strong leader in Joe Biden.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about cackling Kamala, who nobody likes, okay? She's even more disliked than Joe Biden. She may literally be the most disliked politician in this country. I mean, even her husband doesn't like her enough to want to kiss her on the lips without a mask. Surprise! But it seems like he has absolutely no problems kissing Jill Biden on the mouth without a mask. But hey, I don't blame old Doug, right, for not wanting to kiss his own wife, Kamala Harris, on the mouth, because, I mean, Willie Brown has been in that mouth. So, I mean, hey, I'll probably pass as well, too, okay? We all know that relationship only exists strictly for political reasons, okay? That's not a real marriage, right? So that being said, again, Kamala Harris is very unpopular, including with her own husband, right? And she was actually called out by MSNBC, Miss Andrea Mitchell, who in this interview had some good but a whole lot of bad that we're going to talk about here. But one of the good parts of the interview is when, again, Kamala was asked directly to her face, confronted on the fact that rumors has it that Democrats want to get rid of her, right? They're in on Joe Biden, but they're out on Kamala. They want to replace Kamala with somebody else if/when Joe runs again in 2024. Take a look.
Why do you think the president has such low popularity, favorable ratings, and you have even less favorable ratings? Why do you think that is?
I will tell you what I see when I'm out on the road. I see people thanking the president.
It's not translating.
Thanking our administration. I think that what we have to do is focus on what is actually strengthening America and the American people and American families. And when I talk with American families about what they want and what they care about, things like bringing down the cost of health care, bringing down unemployment, doing the work of strengthening and growing America's workforce, including American manufacturing, that's what the American people want.
Dozens of Democratic leaders are saying that they not only don't think that he's the strongest candidate, you know, considering the larger field that could be possible given his age and other defects, but they don't think that you're the right person to be on the ticket. Why do you think that?
I think that it is very important to focus on the needs of the American people and not political chatter out of Washington, D.C.
And you obviously ran for president in 2020. You want to be president. Do you still want to be president someday?
Joe Biden has said he intends to run for re-election as president, and I intend to run with him as vice president of the United States.
Boy, that was tough, right? That was really, really, really tough, okay? Kamala definitely got very uncomfortable when confronted with the fact that nobody likes her, okay? Which, I mean, hey, she should be pretty comfortable with it by now because it was very obvious during the Democrat primaries that nobody liked her, right? I think she dropped out before a vote was even cast. But here we are 2 or 3 years into the Biden administration, and she's less popular than Joe Biden, right? She's less popular than Joe Biden, and she hasn't really accomplished much of anything at all, okay? She's really done nothing but have embarrassing gaffe after embarrassing gaffe. Clearly, she's in over her head. She's been a failure at the border. She's the border czar, but she's not really in charge. I mean, it's clearly obvious she doesn't really want that assignment. She doesn't like that assignment. Outside of that, I can't really think about anything that she's doing, right? She's giving a whole bunch of speeches and stuff, talking about different things and different topics. But when it comes to any major piece of legislation that the Biden administration has passed, she hasn't really been a part of it, okay? Which, I mean, who knows? Could be a good thing, considering the disaster that this administration has been. But we do know, again, on some key things like the border, which we know she's in charge of, or she's supposed to be, who knows? And also the withdrawal from Afghanistan, in which Biden said that Kamala was the last person in the room that he talked to before making that disastrous decision, probably the worst decision of his administration. Again, I can't really think of any W's that Kamala has put on the scoreboard for the Biden administration. And I think that's the reason why the Democrats want to get rid of her, is because, quite honestly, the only thing she does is really just give speeches, and she talks, okay? She travels around a little bit, but in regards to legislation, the border, again, the Afghanistan withdrawal thing, I mean, she just hasn't been great, right? She has not been great at anything, okay? And I think that's kind of why they want to get rid of her. I think the half black / Indian, I'm a woman card, her Infinity Stones of wokeness have ran out, right? And I think they're trying to replace her with somebody else, maybe Pete Buttigieg, right? Who knows? So that being said, here's the part of the interview that I really hated from Andrea Mitchell, and honestly, she should be fired for this, because she just flat out lies in this question to Kamala Harris, where she basically says that Ron DeSantis is banning the teaching of slavery in Florida. Take a look.
Let me ask you, what does Governor Ron DeSantis not know about black history and the black experience when he says that slavery and the aftermath of slavery should not be taught to Florida school children?
I don't know what he knows and what he doesn't know, but I know this. Any push to censor America's teachers and tell them what they should be teaching in the best interest of our children, in partnership with the parents of America, is, I think, wrong-headed. The people who know our children best are their parents and their teachers, in terms of the time they spend and the investment they've placed in the brains and capacity of our children, who are our nation's future. And it should not be some politician saying what should be taught in our classrooms.
And you said that Nikki Haley was using coded language. What do you think about her suggesting a cognitive test for presidents, for candidates for president?
I did not watch her speech, but when you present the suggestion that anyone is saying that it is time for a new generation, and they're running against the person who is president, and when presented as though it's an attack, I would like to let us all be clear that the attack is misplaced if the point of it is that we need leadership that is strong, because we have a strong leader in Joe Biden.
Yeah, no, we don't, right? We do not have a strong leader in Joe Biden. We have a weak, frail leader in Joe Biden. And I think that is the point of Nikki Haley's suggestion, okay, her proposal. Now, Andrea Mitchell should be fired for this question, okay, because this question is just not true. She says that Ron DeSantis wants to stop the teachings of slavery and the, I guess, the aftermath of slavery as well, too, which is just 100% false and incorrect, okay? It's just not true. And this is the mainstream media. This is literally the mainstream media straight up peddling fake news, right? And a question to the vice president in order to smear Ron DeSantis, who probably is a decent chance he may be Joe Biden's opponent in the general election. I mean, MSNBC really is the worst network on cable television. It really is. I mean, it is fake news propaganda 101, right? I don't know what editor allowed Andrea Mitchell to really go and ask the vice president this question based off of falsehood, okay? And it's even worse that the vice president didn't try to correct Andrea Mitchell, because, again, that's just not happening, right? Florida's not banning the teaching of slavery. Not happening. Now, again, speaking of Nikki Haley and MSNBC, MSNBC, unsurprisingly, attacked Nikki Haley, even though she's running against Trump. They attacked Nikki Haley because she is an Indian woman who basically is kind of sort of running on that, which a lot of conservatives don't really like. But they attacked her like they do other Republicans or conservatives that are not white, basically by calling her a token. Take a look.
One lane, Tara. There's a new NBC column that says Nikki Haley's campaign opened with an appeal to race. Some Indian Americans are saying it won't work. The executive director of the AAPI Victory Alliance told NBC, I think people can see through her much better now than ever before, so she can try to talk about her immigrant background. I think it's going to fall flat. Do you agree with that? I mean, and if so, why won't that work for her?
Well, I mean, I can't speak on behalf of the Indian American community because I'm not part of that, but I can see where the comparisons would be to where oftentimes Republicans will try to use immigrants or minorities as tokens to try to deflect away from policies and positions that are actually exclusive of those communities. And Nikki Haley is no different than a lot of the rest of them. I mean, it's the same thing with the Ben Carsons of the world or the Herschel Walkers, where they think, oh, if they just put a black candidate up there to say, oh, there's no more racism, that white people go, yeah, see, that's okay. We're not racist anymore because the black guy said there's no more racism. You know, it's really incredulous and quite transparent. And when Nikki Haley says that, oh, you know, she grew up on the other side of the tracks and how the tracks divided the community, well, who the hell does she think put the tracks there? There's no racism in America. I guess the track just showed up through immaculate construction. I mean, it's an asinine position and very transparent. So I think people will see right through it because she's actually not very good at this.
Interesting.
Yeah. So once again, we have a racist attack against a minority conservative / Republican from MSNBC. Okay. Which the ironic part about this is that this person who's attacking Nikki Haley is black, and the only reason she's on MSNBC is because she's black and allegedly a Republican, right? She's not really a Republican. She's another Trumper Democrat operative that is disguised as a Republican just to say that, hey, we have Republicans, kind of in the same mold as Ana Navarro, who we know is not actually really a Republican or conservative. She's just a Democrat liberal, right, who just says that she's Republican so that CNN and MSNBC can say that, oh, well, she's the conservative, right? She's a Republican on the panel, okay? Again, the irony here is not only that they're tokens, right? That woman quite literally is a token. The Democrats use tokens all the time. What is Corinne Jean-Pierre, right, if she's not a token? She's black, she's lesbian, and she allegedly has a vagina, okay? 3 infinity stones of wokeness. All those things are the only reason that she has a job. It's not because of her qualifications, not because she's actually qualified, right? Because clearly she's not qualified. What about Ketanji Brown Jackson, the Supreme Court justice, who Biden literally came out and said, hey, we're appointing her to the Supreme Court because she's a black woman. That's literally what he said. How is that not a token? Kamala Harris, who Biden said, hey, my VP is going to be a black woman. She's literally only VP because she's allegedly black. How is that not a token? Pete Buttigieg, who is the Secretary of the Department of Transportation, he's gay, right? The only reason he has a job is because he's gay. How is that not a token? Right? Rachel Levine, who also works for the Biden administration. Transgender. Token. Right? Again, the Biden administration is full of nothing but tokens. Woke tokens, but yet you want to talk about Republicans who, you know, hey, they do have minorities who actually are Republican, who do believe in conservative values, that grew up in the South, that are from these states, that do, again, have these beliefs. Oh, they're tokens. Again, it's just amazing. It's almost like these people want you to believe that it is impossible for a minority to be a conservative, to be a true conservative, to be a Republican, to actually really believe that it's impossible. Minorities can only be Democrats and Democrats only. And these are the people that want to cry racism all the time when they routinely use racist tropes against minority conservatives. They have no problems saying the most racist things that they can think of about so-called minorities that disagree with them politically. Again, MSNBC is a trash network, right? For as much as I'm enjoying the downfall of CNN, I can't wait for the downfall of MSNBC. That network, it truly does need a rude awakening, okay? Again, this network is trash. It's absolute trash. It's everything they say Fox News is, okay? But worse, way worse. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.